Want to give a shout out to everybody. A lot of people are asking me about lectures. I'm going to get on that in a minute. Let's see who's on the phone. Hotline.
Hey, Flex, what's happening, man? It's Jason.
Hey, what's up, Jason? What's going on with you, man?
Chilling, man. I was just talking to my boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking with my boy the other day, and we were, just chopping up on some game, and a question arose, and I was saying that is having your heart broken a prerequisite to learning the tricks and the trade of the game? Like, in order for your game to be extra tight, do you have to really go through some strenuous stuff with a female, like from a past relationship?
Absolutely, you do. You do. You're going to go through heartaches and pains, and sometimes you might get your heart broken. You might get your feelings hurt by a female. That's going to happen to every real player. That's going to help you strengthen your game up and be thorough in the game. Some guys will let that fuck with them for the rest of their lives. They get hurt or they get their heart broken by one woman. All of a sudden, they just become Sims for the rest of their lives. But a heartbreak and pain and a female dissing you, shit like that, that's going to happen. With the greatest players, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player, but that nigga missed a free throw every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't drop out of the game. So are you going through a heartache situation right now?
No. Well, we both been through some stuff in our past, and that was just that kind of arose because, I kind of figured if somebody had never been through that stuff, and then they started listening to your podcast and reading the books, could they actually go out there and have the game with the same strength as somebody who hasn't had their heart broken? For
sure, absolutely. But yeah, you're going to go through heartache and heartbreak and all that stuff. So that's a part of life. Yeah, that's definitely a part of life. Anyway, thanks for the call, player. Now, who's on the phone now?
This is Super K.
What's up, Super K? Where you calling from, pimpin'?
Norfolk, Virginia.
All right, what's on your mind today, player?
I just want to get in on the topic, man. I think a lot of sisters are hard to date because they got too many kids.
Think a lot of black women are hard to date because they have a lot of kids?
Yeah, well, not a lot of kids, but it's kind of hard to find a sister that don't have kids.
What's the dating scene like dealing with the sisters out there in Virginia?
A lot of them with kids, man. A lot of hood rats, you know what I mean?
Well, I know there has to be a few dimes out there, right? A few women with their shit together.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's a lot of dimes out here, yeah.
But are you saying that the hood rats outweigh the dimes?
Nah, I wouldn't say they do, but it's a lot of them though.
I feel you. All right, thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, player. Let me turn my music back on. That's what we're talking about today, man. We're talking about brothers dating the sisters. I was reading my advice blog on my MySpace page, and a lot of brothers were kind of complaining. A lot of brothers were talking about how difficult it was these days dating sisters. Let me read some of the comments that was on my MySpace blog. I mean, brothers was going off. One brother said, I have to say this. Officially, after being around black women as much as I've been, I believe that they are the worst women to date of any race. They talk shit about people they don't know, and they're loud in quiet places like libraries, and they start problems. And somebody else went on to say, you have a good point. But let's be real. Out of Spanish women, black women, white women, Indian women, Chinese, or whatever, out of all races, black girls are the worst out of everyone. They're terrible, they do nothing right, and of course you have certain ones that don't act stupid, but in reality, black men know that they're the worst women to date and the most aggravating, and they don't do nothing right at all. Like, damn, the brothers are harsh on this shit. And this is on my MySpace blog, myspace.com/Tariq_Nasheed. Somebody else goes on to say, well, yo, I'm in the New York area, and I feel like the state of black women in this area is really whack. A lot of these sisters don't have a cool vibe about them. I think a lot of the fellas set the pace for these females' actions because there's so much simping going on in this area. The females are out of their minds. The dudes be tricking their money off, fighting over chicks. The shit is not under control. That's why I'm taking my campaign on the road. I'm about to check Europe to see what's good. And another one goes on to say, I have to pace myself with sisters because most of these chicks are average looking and broke. But there are 100 simps waiting to side up, waiting on the side to wife up these broads. Fuck that. Brothers are going off on this shit. I woke up this morning and I started looking at my blog, and for some reason the brothers was just going on anti-sister rants. Excuse me. Another brother, your royal flyness. What's up, flyness? So as a brother who lived in Atlanta, VA, and New York women, and some of these guys are switching the rant up on black women to just New York women in general. Said New York women are by far the most difficult to deal with. You damn near have to choke a female to get her to come correct. When you combine the hustle and bustle of the Northeast and the cold weather and some ghetto mess, you have a recipe for some whackness. Even a fly put-together woman from New York will many times need to be checked hard very early. Yeah, brothers are going off. And I got an email like last night from a guy out here in L.A. saying that he moved to L.A. and he goes out to different clubs in L.A. and just the quality of black women in L.A. is whack now. He mentioned a club that he went to and it was like mostly women, like 60% women, 40% men, and the women were just walking around with really fucked up attitudes. The women were not coming correct. The conversation was whack, and the women were telling him that he was too square acting. I got another post on the blog saying, is it just me or does it seem like New York City is the weave capital of the world? I ain't seen so many weave-wearing chicks in my life. I've been to D.C., I've been to Maryland, and the chicks be having the Tony Braxton shortcuts and be looking fine in the motherfucker. But in New York, there's a lot of weaves and a lot of chicken heads. A lot of women in New York are too ghetto for my taste. The chickens outnumber the dimes. Too much nasty ghetto attitudes going on. Wow. Wow. So that's the vibe a lot of brothers are having with the sisters, and I've talked about this on the show numerous times about the state of black men and black female relationships. And out here in Los Angeles, I will agree with the poster, the blogger. The quality of the sisters are starting to go downhill in L.A. L.A. used to be, somewhat on top of their shit. But just that brokenness is really kicked in. L.A. is the fine, broke women capital. We have the finest, brokest women in the world in L.A. You see a woman who's fine in the motherfucker who can't rub two nickels together. And that brokenness has a lot to do with a female's attitude. It has a lot to do with the way a woman thinks. Let me get this call. Hotline.
Hey, what's up, Tariq?
Hey, what's going on? It's Mighty Joe.
Yeah,
What's going on, Mighty? Where you been, player?
I've been working, trying to make my money.
There you go, my nigga. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, I saw on MySpace the topic, why brothers think it's difficult to date black women.
Yes.
Okay, I have a lot of friends, and they always tell me, why are black women like that? Why are they, almost like they're being racist to their own kind?
Yeah. In a lot of cases, that's true. That's true. And I'm going to touch on that in a minute. I'm about to read one of the listeners' emails and kind of touch on that. But thanks for the call, player. And that's funny that he would say that about the racist to their own kind thing. I'm going to touch on that in an email. What's up? Who's calling? Wait, somebody was calling. Hold on. Anyway, they'll call back in a minute. Let me put my music back on. But a lot of brothers, especially out here in L.A., are complaining that the quality of women isn't up to par like it used to be. And like I was saying, L.A. is the fine, broke woman capital of the world. We got a lot of females out here who look good, but they're broke, so they have to overcompensate for that brokenness by trying to be flyer than what they are, trying to act flyer than what they are. And brothers aren't buying it. I talked about this a few weeks ago, how brothers are starting to outgrow, after a while, a lot of black men outgrow black women. Because a lot of black women, in order to have a relationship with a brother, they have to date down, because a lot of younger guys who really don't have anything going on will tolerate that bullshit. A brother who has some shit going on for himself, he's not going to play no little bullshit games with you, sisters. And I'm not beating up on the sisters. I'm trying to play the devil's advocate, but we can't ignore some of the shit that's going on out here. Hotline, who's calling?
This is Freddie.
What's up, Freddie? Where you calling from, man?
Oh, right, I'll call from Stockton, California.
Where you calling from?
Stockton, California.
Stockton. Okay, what's on your mind, player?
Actually, I had a question for you.
All right.
What's the difference between a guy? To me, there's two different kind of black guys.
Okay.
One that's from a nice neighborhood, really articulate, and one that's from the hood. Now, for me, I've had a trouble just being friend and interacting.
Speak up, player. You're breaking up. Speak up a little louder. Go ahead.
I was trying to say, I find it very difficult to even interact with black women from the hood just because of the way I talk.
You find it difficult to interact with black women from the hood because of the way you talk?
Yeah, because I don't think they take me seriously, you know?
Are there dating spots up there in Stockton?
Yeah, there is, but when I do run into a black woman, she's really like, ghetto. I just don't want to deal with that.
So what race of women do you mostly date?
I usually date mixed women, like half black, half Mexican, white.
Okay. And that's a good point. A lot of sisters, man, they, when a brother is talking non-ghetto, we ain't talking no crazy shit, a lot of times they won't give that brother the time of day. A lot of brothers have said this. And I feel where you're coming from. And I always say, don't dumb yourself down. Don't start talking crazy and acting stupid just to appease a couple of hood rats, which is what a lot of brothers do. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for the call, player. Hotline, who's calling?
Hey, this is Charles from Las Vegas.
What's up, Big Charlie?
How you doing, King Flex, man? I had a comment, and plus I had a question.
What's your comment first?
I think most black women don't have their shit together, and they looking for somebody to take care of them.
Okay.
And my question is, how do I keep it matches 100% of the time when I'm dating multiple women?
You got to be 100% honest, man. And honesty don't mean telling everybody your business, but you don't have to tell nobody no lies. You know what I'm saying? You get respect by being honest. Women can respect an honest dude more than anything, because if they catch you on a lie, the respect factor is gone, and you lost your foundation of macking. You understand that? Once they catch you in a lie, they can't trust you. And if they can't trust you, they're going to start doing little shiesty shit. But if you keep it 100, keep it mackish, keep everything straight up and down, keep that respect level there, and you do that by just not bullshitting them. You know what I'm saying? Not making no major commitment if you know you got other broads on the side. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's okay to tell them I'm dating other women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just say, look, I'm dating other females. You and I, we're cool. I like you, but, we're not exclusive. Or you ain't even got to say that. You don't have what a lot of dudes do. They're so happy to get some pussy from a broad, they'll tell her anything they want her to hear in order to keep fucking her. So they'll sit up and tell her all this. Oh, you're my one and only. Oh, don't leave me. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh, you my baby girl. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And they're fucking like two other broads on the side. You don't have to do all that brown nosing to keep a woman around. You ain't got to roll out the red carpet and semi-wife her up in order to keep her down with your team. You know what I'm saying? Just do you, and just be confident enough that she's going to stay around because you're doing you. You understand that?
I got you.
All right, player. Thanks for the call, player. Yep. To lace that brother with a little game right there. Were you guys taking heed to that? Shit. Well, like I was saying, a lot of brothers, man, y'all don't have to dumb yourself down in order to impress these women, which is what a lot of brothers do. I want to get into this email that a brother sent. Where's this email? The brother sent me an email. He said, Flex, I'm having a very taxing situation with a black woman working in my office. She's not my supervisor, however, but she's been assigned to train me in certain aspects of my job. in which I'm new and I need assistance of. She's 36 years old. I'm 28. She's married with children. Her body is a dime, but her face is a fucking 6, and that's being generous. She's light-skinned, though, and you know how niggas brown-nose any yellow bitch regardless of her obvious flaws, which is true. I talked about that before. These light-skinned females get a light-skinned pass. I did a whole show about that, about ugly light-skinned females a few weeks ago. So you guys go back to the archives and hear what I said about ugly light-skinned women getting a pass. Basically, everything was fine for the first 2 weeks, the email goes on to say. She was very helpful in the beginning. In fact, this woman was very flirtatious with me, which I mostly ignored in order to remain professional. Let me get back to that. Let me get this call real quick. Hotline.
Yo, this is Chris from LA.
Hey, what's going on, Chris?
Hey, I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. So what's your opinion on the topic for today?
Well, I think that black women as a whole, they don't respect black men. So they talk down on us like that, and that's why brothers have a hard time getting along with black women because, black women, they're taught that men are shit, men are dogs and all that. So, they don't, like you said, they don't respect us, so they talk us any kind of way.
Yeah. So, what race of women do you normally deal with, or do you still deal with the sisters?
I still deal with the sisters primarily. I have my brothers and my friends, they done ventured off into Mexicans and white girls, but I still deal with them. I'm also learning from you how to check women and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
now, if you just, talk to them and have them respect you, then everything is cool. I'm with the black girl right now.
There you go.
And everything is cool. She's more of a submissive woman, which is cool, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So everything is pretty cool on that end, but not all black girls are like that. A lot of black girls are ghetto and, they talk shit to you, and I've been through all of that, but I'm not having that anymore, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's what's up, player. Thanks for the call, my nigga. Who's on the phone?
Yo, man, what's cracking, Pimp Juice? It's J-Ho, the finest group.
What's up, J-Ho? Where you calling from, man?
Man, I'm calling from Chico, California, pimping.
Oh, there you go. What's on your mind, player?
Man, I just was over on the MySpace. I checked out your, I saw that you had, why is black women so difficult?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, God damn it, hell no. Them motherfuckers are the most easiest ones.
You think so?
I think so.
How so?
And man, I go to Chico State, so we got a flock of white bitches cracking.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and I think they're just as easy.
Now, out there in that area, I think so too, because that area is like way off in the suburbs. Chico is out there in the boondocks. So
Chico's in the sticks.
Yeah, so it's a different exactly. It's a different mind state out there. People grow up in houses, so it's not all congested. Everybody's not all on top of each other like in the main part of the city. So their mentality is more laid back. It's more of a family vibe out there too. You have a lot of families out there, so it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
But thanks for the call, player. Yeah, it's a whole different vibe out there in Chico for people who don't know what Chico is like. Way off in the boondocks. It's a suburb of Los Angeles. It's way off in the cut. So you ain't dealing with the average type of sisters as you would deal with in an urban area. But anyway, let me finish reading this email. The email goes on to say, after the first 2 weeks at the job, the flirting stopped, and this woman has since become very hard to work with, and she's turning into a bitch. She's doing exactly what you described as far as testing a black man. Let me get this one more call. I see somebody calling from Detroit, looks like. Hotline.
Hey, what's up, Tariq?
Hey, what's up, player? You calling from Detroit?
Yeah.
There you go. What's going on out there in Detroit?
Absolutely nothing.
I ain't been to Detroit in years. That's my birthplace. I ain't been out there in a long ass time.
Yeah, don't come back.
What's on your mind today, man?
What's the topic about black?
Yeah.
My main thing with them, basically they just talk too much. It's like dating one of them is like dating five of them.
Say dating one sister's like dating five of them?
Yeah.
So, So ain't the shit. I know you must be dating a sister out there in Detroit. Ain't number sisters and Greek women. Who else you dating out there in Detroit?
Well, I gotta go like outside city limits months. Like the black chicks out here are just terrible.
I feel you. All right, thanks for the call, player. Let's see who else is on the phone. Hotline.
Yo, Tariq, what's good?
What's going on? Who's calling?
Oh, man, this is Jay Hove again, pimp.
Oh, what's going on, man?
Man, I had a quick question, though. That's the reason why I called. I had a real quick question. I was wondering, because, I mean, I'm a Mac. I'm not all in the pimping and stuff, but I got a few that give me money on the side from niggas. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, I consider myself like a real Macish type of dude.
Okay.
And, but damn, I'm kind of like wondering, what's up with one of your shows? Because I heard that you had a show that it was like $10 or something like that you're giving up some real to the game.
Yeah,
the
Mackin' for Money show, and I might put that up. I'm gonna do another special in a couple of weeks, and I might add that onto the special. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. I got another call, player. Thanks for the call, man. All right, let me read this email before I forget, because people are lighting up the phone line. I'm not going to take no more calls right now, because people are lighting up the goddamn phone lines. But yeah, I'm going to finish reading this email, because this is a good email. So the guy was at his job. He had this light-skinned female kind of flirting with him. She was training him. And after a while, she started acting like a bitch towards him. She started testing him. His email goes on to say, I checked her immediately, and she was a clam. Inside, I wanted to slap this wench. If she continues to test me, I will check her in a professional manner. But it's all so unnecessary. Dealing with bitches in the street is one thing, but dealing with them in the workplace can be a damn nightmare. My question, Flex, is how do you deal with black women on your job who are in a higher position when they get out of pocket and disrespect you? I only see this with black women in authority and black men. I never see this dynamic when a black female interacts with a white male or white female or co-workers. White women being racist towards black men, they seem to kiss the ass of every other race but fail to show proper respect to their own. Not all, but some. That's a very good point, player. Very, very good point. And a lot of this is going to be a long show today. This is going to be a longer than average show because we're going to chop up a good game. I might keep it going today. But a lot of sisters do come at black men real sideways, but when a white man shows up or a white woman shows up, they suck an ass. A lot of sisters do that. Not all of them, but the majority. Because sisters know who to pull that disrespect shit with. They know who to do it with. They know who not to do it with. And black women are very submissive when it comes to dealing with white men. Just like, you remember that movie, The Color Purple, when Oprah was beating up Harpo and all that shit? And then in the movie, she punched a white man. They threw her ass in jail for like 30 years or some shit. Well, that's some real shit. You know, they let sisters get out of pocket with everybody, but you just don't get out of pocket with white folks. You can talk as much shit as you want to, just don't turn your rage and your wrath onto white folks. They know better. They absolutely know better than to do that. I'm going to give you another example. You know Star Jones on The View? Now, a lot of folks don't know this. A good friend of mine, he's been on this show, my friend Rosebud, and a former pimp from Los Angeles, OG pimp. He was in the movie American Pimp. He was on The View one time, and I don't know if they aired it or not, but he was on The View years ago when American Pimp first came out. And you know how Star Jones is like real sassy with certain people. You know, and a lot of these talk shows, they've had all types of guests on their shows. They've had like serial killer. I mean, a lot of these shows, they've had all types of crazy folks. And I know that Rosebud was on The View, and Star Jones was showing out. Star Jones pulled one of her show out bitch moves. And Rosebud told me this the next day. I talked to him like right after it happened. He went on the show and Star Jones was like, I'm offended. I'm going to walk off the show. Star Jones walked off the show because Rosebud was on there. She was like, I'm not going to be on no show with no pimp. This is degrading, and I'm walking off the show. And it was a very tacky thing. A lot of people kind of criticized her for doing that because you don't invite a guest to your show and then flip on him and walk out. But Star Jones did that shit. And if you Google it, you might find some references about it on the net. But I don't think they aired the show. I know it happened because I talked to Rosebud the next day. He was like, that fat bitch tried to show out on me. But Star Jones did that little sucker ass shit. That's why I've never respected her ass since then. And Star Jones got to the point where she was trying to be sassy with white folks. She started making little smart, snarly ass remarks to some of those white women, and they got rid of her fat ass. So a lot of sisters know who to pull that shit with and who not to pull that shit with. And when they go overboard, white folks get rid of their asses. They send a message. So I feel you on that, brother, the brother at that job. A lot of sisters do come at brothers real sideways. They come at you real fucked up. It's best not to interact with them whatsoever. And I've done many talk shows. I've been on many television shows. And a lot of the black female producers, they just had a real funky-ass vibe. I've dealt with publishing companies, and there's black women at publishing companies that I just had a fucked up vibe with. These women who think that they're in a position of authority, I go over their heads. I don't even fuck with them. When they try to come at me on some old boss bitch shit, fuck you. I'm about to go holler at your white boss. I like to deal with the white folks in charge. So I know where you're coming from. Just don't deal with them. Just do not deal with them. A lot of them in the workplace, they have really funky-ass attitudes with brothers. So just don't interact with them. I remember doing one talk show, and there was a black female host who had a real kind of funky vibe with me. And I'm like, whatever. I'm not fucking with you anyway. See, the thing is, when they get around white folks, a lot of sisters, they put on their little routine. They have a little bullshit routine that they put on. And they don't like when brothers come around because a lot of brothers can see past their bullshit. You know, they put on what I call the Tracy Bingham role. They play the bubbly, dingy valley girl. A lot of sisters do. They play the little dingy role around white folks. And a lot of brothers can see past their bullshit. The same bullshit they run on white folks, they can't run it on the brothers. Brothers see past that shit all day. You know, there has to be a few dimes out there, right? A few women with their shit together.
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's a lot of dimes out here, yeah.
But are you saying that the hood rats outweigh the dimes?
Nah, I wouldn't say they do, but it's a lot of them, though.
I feel you. All right, thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, player. Let me turn my music back on. That's what we're talking about today, man. We're talking about brothers dating the sisters. I was reading my advice blog on my MySpace page, and a lot of brothers were kind of complaining. A lot of brothers were talking about how difficult it was these days dating sisters. Let me read some of the comments that was on my MySpace blog. I mean, brothers was going off. One brother said, I have to say this. Officially, after being around black women as much as I've been, I believe that they are the worst women to date of any race. They talk shit about people they don't know, and they're loud in quiet places like libraries, and they start problems. And somebody else went on to say, you have a good point. But let's be real. Out of Spanish women, black women, white women, Indian women, Chinese, or whatever, out of all races, black girls are the worst out of everyone. They're terrible, they do nothing right, and of course you have certain ones that don't act stupid, but in reality, black men know that they're the worst women to date and the most aggravating, and they don't do nothing right at all. Like, damn, the brothers are harsh on this shit. And this is on my MySpace blog, myspace.com. I want to give a shout out to everybody. A lot of people are asking me about lectures. I'm going to get on that in a minute. Let's see who's on the phone. Hotline.
Hey, well, Flex, what's happening, man? It's Jason.
Hey, what's up, Jason? What's going on with you, man?
Chilling, man. Yo, I was just talking to my boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking with my boy the other day, and we were, just chopping up on some game, and a question arose, and I was saying that is having your heart broken a prerequisite to learning the tricks and the trade of the game? Like, in order for your game to be extra tight, do you have to really go through some strenuous stuff with a female, like from a past relationship?
Absolutely, you do. You do. You're going to go through heartaches and pains, and sometimes you might get your heart broken.
There and have the game with the same strength as somebody who hasn't had their heart broken.
For sure, absolutely. But yeah, you're going to go through heartache and heartbreak and all that stuff. So, that's a part of life. Yeah, that's definitely a part of life. Anyway, thanks for the call, player. Now, who's on the phone now?
This is Super K.
What's up, Super K? Where you calling from, pimpin'?
Norfolk, Virginia.
All right, what's on your mind today, player?
I just want to get in on the topic, man. I think a lot of sisters are hard to date because they got too many kids.
Think a lot of black women are hard to date because they have a lot of kids?
Yeah, well, not a lot of kids, but it's kind of hard to find a sister that don't have kids.
What's the dating scene like dealing with the sisters out there in Virginia?
A lot of them with kids, man. A lot of hood rats. You know what I mean?
Well, you might get your feelings hurt by a female. That's going to happen to every real player. That's going to help you strengthen your game up and be thorough in the game. Some guys will let that fuck with them for the rest of their lives. They get hurt or they get their heart broken by one woman. All of a sudden, they just become Sims for the rest of their lives. But heartbreak and pain and a female dissing you, shit like that, that's going to happen. With the greatest players, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player, but that nigga missed a free throw every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't drop out of the game. So are you going through a heartache situation right now?
No. Well, we both been through some stuff in our past that was just that kind of arose because, I kind of figured that somebody had never been through that stuff, and then they started listening to your podcast and reading the books. Could they actually go out